I've worked with thousands of painting contractors over the last 20 years. I've personally started or acquired more than 25 painting companies myself. And in this video, I want to break down for you the 4 biggest reasons that people fail in this industry. Number 1, the most important relationship that you have in your business. Number 2, these are the jobs that kill painting companies. I see it all the time. Number 3, people who fail are unwilling to do this in their business. And then number 4, the one decision that officially kills painting companies. So before we get into all that, my name is Eric Barstow. I'm the founder of Painting Business Pro, where I've been coaching painting contractors for 20 years, 10 years here on the internet. All right, and then I also run a portfolio of painting companies where we do just north of $20 million per year and growing. Before we get into all of this, I want to let you know why anyone can succeed in this business. Because the business is primed for success. We have a huge industry, it's absolutely gigantic, and it's dominated by very small painting contractors all over the place. So there's a ton of competition, but there's almost no competition. I've worked with people of all ages, ranging from 18 years old to people approaching retirement. I've worked with people in rural markets with almost no population to large metros. I've worked with people with a background in painting, no background in painting, and all different backgrounds. And I've seen people from all walks of life succeed in this business over all these years, all across the United States, in damn near every market, in Canada, and we even work with people in other countries. This business is absolutely huge. The industry is huge. Every single building, every single house needs to be painted inside and out every single year. The market just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but the competition isn't getting much better. It still shocks me to this day how many times I hear about painting contractors that still don't show up on time, still don't have any professionalism in their business, and how few big companies there are in an industry that is this big. And you only need to carve out a little piece of the pie to run a great company. And it's not that hard to be better than who's out there right now. So you can succeed. Now that we've established that, let's look at the biggest reasons that people fail. Because one reason people don't fail is because of the industry or the opportunity. It's proven. It's already proven, and tons of people before you have proven that they can do it in a market like yours, with a background like yours, and an age like yours. It's not circumstantial. There are reasons that people fail. So let's dive right in. So the most important relationship you have is the relationship you have with failure. All right, and so before we even get into failure, because failure is inevitable. Like, you are going to fail in this business, you're gonna fail in any business, and you're gonna fail over and over and over and over and over. You're gonna be constantly confronted by failure. In fact, pretty much success feels like failing almost all the time, because you set a goal and you're gonna be constantly falling short, failing of that goal. But the second you achieve your goal, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna be like, cool, I've achieved it, now let's just like celebrate for the rest of my life. No, you're gonna set another goal. And then the moment you set a new goal, you're failing until you achieve that goal. And then you achieve the goal. And how long do you sit on that goal before you set the next goal? So most of your life as a business owner is going to be experiencing failure and failing. And as the business gets bigger, the failures get bigger. The expense of those failures get bigger. The pain of those failures get bigger. How much you invested into something before you fail gets bigger. So you're going to be dealing with failure. And let's first get out of the way the fact that everybody says all the right things about failure, but it's all bullshit. So people say, you know, oh, failure is how I succeed. Failure is just my teacher. Failure, I mean, you could just go Google platitudes about failure, and everyone says them, nobody lives them. Not nobody, but very few people. And I just know this because I've worked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of painting contractors over the years, and the overwhelming response people have to failure is the default response. It's default because it's the most common one. And it's usually excuses, complaints, doubt, and they lie to themselves and make excuses that they're a victim and they don't take responsibility. Now look, you think this isn't you, but this is most people. Most people make excuses and don't take responsibility when they fail. So let me give you some examples of some of the most common excuses that I see, but I can make a list of 100, but here's just some that are really common. People won't hire us for those prices here. That is an excuse. That is a lie. People will hire you for those prices there. You're not good at sales. See, this is an example of people not taking responsibility. I blame a circumstance. There's no subcontractors here. There's no good help here. Nobody will work for those prices here. Also, all bullshit. All bullshit. Look, every single house and building in your market is being painted right now by someone. So people are working for prices and people are making good money. People won't work for these prices. There's too much competition. There's just as much competition as there's always been. There's always been boatloads of competition. Other people are too low priced, so I can't compete. So it's the other people who are the reason that I can't win jobs. There's too many people doing this business illegally. The economy is a very easy cop-out. and on and on and on. And all of this is bullshit, but I could literally keep going. I could brainstorm probably 100 things that I've heard over and over and over that seem logical. They seem logical, so people say them because I keep hearing from customers that I'm the highest price. So it's all these other low prices and customers don't want to pay my high prices. No, that is not. That is the relationship to failure that is unproductive, that leads people to actually failing in the business. The real reason that you are not getting the results you want is because you are not effective, period. You are not effective at sales. You are not effective at demonstrating why your price is worth it. You are not effective at marketing. You are not effective at turning your leads into sales. You are not effective at recruiting good talent. You are not effective at training people. You are not effective at building your company yet. And that's okay. When you set a goal, it's a goal that you have not yet achieved, which usually means you don't yet know how to achieve it. Because if you already knew how to achieve it, you'd already have it. And so it's okay you're not effective. That's where you start, is I'm not effective. But that's where you need to keep coming back to, is when I don't get what I want, it's because I'm not effective. Therefore, I need to develop myself. So there's two things you can do when you fail. You can make excuses and you can explain your failure in a way that has nothing to do with you, and you can continue to fail. Or what successful people do is when they fail, they look at it like, okay, this is something I'm not yet good at. I need to go get good at this. And they go get good at it. Because everybody fails in business, but some people fail and fail and fail and then quit, or they just fail, fail, fail and don't grow. Some people fail, learn, and then succeed. And that second person is gonna run circles around everybody else. And I will tell you, it's more rare than you think it is, because everybody says it, but their actions don't match what they say. Look, I have so many more things that I could just keep going about success versus failure and the views about failure. I could go and go and go. I have a ton more notes here that I actually want to do, but we'll leave it at that. You've got to get a really strong relationship with failure, where every single time you fail, you look at yourself to see where you're not effective and how you need to get better. All right, so now let's look at number 2, jobs that kill companies. So generally speaking, the way that you want to build this business is you want to build it starting really simple. All right, so what that means is, for my company, when I first started, the only thing we ever did was exterior residential repaints. And fortunately for me, I would knock doors, so I could literally pick my customers, and I would go and I would knock doors, and we just sold exterior residential repaints. In fact, for the first 3 years of our business, up until we did $1 million a year, we just said no to interior painting. We kept it really, really simple. We didn't do any jobs that were older than like 1985, so we did new track homes. We also didn't do any big custom homes. It was like the easy cookie cutter jobs, and that's all we did for 3 years. And then we very slowly added more things. And then I remember in 2016 or 17, we got some opportunities to bid on some commercial work. And we went ahead and did it. And we had one job go really well. You know, it was a Kohl's department store, a $40,000 job. We made $20,000. It took us a week. It was awesome. They gave us another. We did it. They gave us another, and it killed us. It took us 3 months. We lost $20,000. It tied up our best crew. It tied up our best production manager, because we got into work that we didn't yet understand. That happened with a couple other commercial jobs that year too. And what we decided as a company was, we said, hey, we're not going to chase anything that we don't yet know until we know it. And right now, we've got so much more improving to do on what we already do that we're going to say no to all this stuff. Recently, I did a PBP show, a podcast with Dustin Hunter. One of the biggest changes that he made in his business to double his profit while working less. And by the way, the next year he's pacing to have tripled his profit. So in 2 years, tripled his profit and cut his work hours in half. One of the most important changes he made is he started saying no to a bunch of work. No, I'm not going to work with GCs anymore. No, I'm not going to do this BS touch-up type work anymore. No, I'm not going to do that work anymore. And he just niched down to doing simpler work. I just did a PBP show with Brian Struble the other day. Does $2.5 million in commercial work. He bought $1 million company just a couple years ago. Now he's doing $2.5 million. And the biggest change that he cited to his growth is he quit doing a bunch of services. He said, we used to do cabinets. We stopped doing cabinets. We used to work with a lot of GCs. We stopped working with GCs. We used to be doing some residential to add to our business. We stopped doing residential and we focused. And so jobs that kill companies is anything that's outside of your niche. Stay niche and stay focused. The business is so big. You don't need to dabble in more things. The more things you do, the more complicated your business gets. The more complicated it gets, the harder it is to grow and scale. So the key here is having the patience to say no to that commercial job, the patience to say no to that new line of business, that patience to say no to adding that service to your business. Because all of those jobs, they're going to be back, because everything needs to be painted and repainted and repainted. So one of the biggest failures is people going too wide and offering too many services instead of just staying focused and keeping their business simple. You've got to avoid those shiny objects, don't chase money, and don't go after things that you don't understand. Stay focused on doing more of what you're already good at and keep that as simple as possible. All right, so let's look at number 3. Failures are unwilling to do this. So people in business who are failing are unwilling to do what is required and what their business needs from them. So I'm going to give you a couple examples. My business partner, Hunter, who's running a great company now, he's doing north of $6 million a year. He has a team that runs the company where he can get away with about an 8 to 10 hour work week. He's now my partner running National Painting Group. And at his company, he makes enormous profit margins and has this great company. But about 3 years ago, he was kind of stuck and stalled because he didn't want to fire the people he needed to fire in his production department. His production department had someone working in that department who was not doing a good job and needed to go. And I told Hunter, you should let him go, you should let him go, you should let him go for about a year. But Hunter didn't want to. He didn't want to because he knew if he let that person go, he would have to go and start running production again. And he didn't want to run production again. And so he stalled until it finally got to a point where he had to fire this person. And he went and did production for his business. In fact, he started doing production for his business for about 4 months straight. He said, I'm just going to do it till the end of the year and I'm going to master this. And what happened was Hunter came in and outperformed the rest of his team by so much that it raised everything up. Everybody got better, and now he knew how to produce in a way that he didn't know before. He can hold his team more accountable. That's what his business needed. It unlocked everything for him. So your business, no matter where it is, it needs something from you. And what I constantly see in this business, but really in any business, is people are unwilling to do what the business needs. I mean, I'll tell another couple stories of things that the business needed from me that I didn't want to do. A few years ago, I knew that I needed to fire my production department. This was maybe 2018, 2019, 5-6 years ago. I ended up laying off 75% of the production department. I rehired and retrained the whole staff. This was at one of our companies before we started scaling a lot. And I didn't want to do that for a long time, but I knew that's what the business needed. And once I did it, it changed everything. A couple years ago, I had a marketing department who I really loved the people, but we needed to let them go. I let the whole department go. And since then, our results are through the roof and our costs are cut in half. So the business needs you to do something. Your business needs something from you. So here are some of the things that I think businesses need that business owners are not willing to do. They're not willing to give up control. Is that you? So as I go through this list, you want to say, is this you? Are you unwilling to give up control? Are you unwilling to put down the brush? Are you unwilling to hire other people? Are you unwilling to trust other people? Are you unwilling to let things break? Are you unwilling to change your sales process? Are you unwilling to hire a coach? Are you unwilling to change your beliefs? Are you unwilling to spend more money on marketing? Are you unwilling to go door to door? Are you unwilling to cold call property managers and real estate agents? Are you unwilling to drop flyers and lawn signs every single day if that's what your business needs? Are you unwilling to post more ads? Are you unwilling to fail 20 times while you keep learning? Are you unwilling to keep failing and getting up again? Are you unwilling to admit you're wrong, ask for help, attend conferences, educate yourself in business, learn QuickBooks, learn a CRM, learn financial management, do one thing for an entire quarter without getting distracted? Do the boring work that works for a long time. You have to be willing to do what your business needs you to do, and most people aren't willing to change. They want the world to conform into their view and the way they want to do things, but the world doesn't care about you. You've got to adapt and you've got to give your business what it needs. So you need to look and see what does my business need right now that I'm not willing to do? Because as long as you don't give your business what it needs, it will stay stuck. All right, let's look at number 4. The one decision that officially kills a business, which is, drum roll, quitting. This is the final dagger, is when you actually quit. And it's my belief that is the only way that you actually fail in business is when you quit. If you stick with something long enough and your relationship with failure is, I keep learning and getting up again, and I will just keep learning and getting up again, and I'm willing to do what's next and what's needed, and I'm willing to be patient. If you can do these 3 things, just don't quit, and it will turn out. When most people get into business, they expect it to take a while. And almost every single person watching this video, if you're in business, you are like literally a couple of moves away from insane and staggering results in your business. The biggest thing that I see people do is they quit, and they quit way too early, particularly people who are startups, is you start the business, it doesn't go as well as you would like it to at the beginning, and it takes a little longer than you thought it would, and there's more failure, and you don't like how failure feels, and so you quit before you get to success. And I see a lot of people do this in business over and over. They start a business, 2 years in, they quit. They start a new business 2 years in, they quit, because they expect results to happen faster than they actually happen. I mean, I don't think I'm very special. I just happen to have stuck with something for 20 years. I've just been running painting companies for the last 15 years, and 5 years before that I was coaching people in the painting business. I've just done one thing for a long time. I don't think my results are all that impressive. These are just kind of pretty simple results when you stick with something that long and you keep learning from failure and you take your time and you do what's needed for the business. That's all I got. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you in the next one.